Good day everyone! Today we are going to talk about the comparison between two Asian countries, Japan and Philippines. We all know that these countries are known for their wondrous culture and traditions, but how do they differ in terms of politics, government, and economics? Japan's political system is parliamentary and constitutional monarchy, enacted after World War II.
According to Article 1 of their constitution, the emperor shall be the symbol of the state and of the unity of the people, deriving his position from the will of the people with whom resides sovereign power. That is also the reason why
the imperial family of Japan is the figurehead and representative of the country in terms of domestic and international activities. One of the role of their emperor is to appoint the next prime minister of the country. That will be tackled later. Meanwhile, Philippines is a democratic and republic state wherein the people is involved in decision making and the process of choosing the next leader is through electoral voting. And the one who leads the state and their government is the president.
We are going to focus now on the similarities and differences of Japan and Philippines government. Japan and Philippines have three branches. These are legislative, executive, and judiciary. So let's first focus in Japan's. The national diet is composed of two, the House of Representative and the House of Councilor. It is the highest organ of the state power and the sole law-making organ of the state. After the diet, will appoint the Prime Minister, wherein the Prime Minister will be the one who will lead the executive cabinet. The cabinet is made up of ministers that is chosen by the Prime Minister. Executive power is vested in the cabinet, which consists of Prime Minister and not more than 17 Minister of State. In judiciary, the whole judicial power is vested in the Supreme Court, and in such imperial courts as High Court, District Courts, Family Courts, and Summary Courts, no extraordinary court can be established, nor can any organ of the executive have a final judicial power. So let's now proceed to the Philippines. The legislative branch is authorized to make laws, alter, and repeal them through the power vested in the Philippine Congress. This institution is divided into the Senate and the House of Representatives. The legislative branch enacts legislation, confirms or rejects presidential appointments, and has the authority to declare war. The Senate is composed of 24 senators who are elected at large by the qualified voters of the Philippines. The executive branch is composed of the President and the Vice President who are elected by direct popular vote and serve a term of 6 years. The Constitution grants the President authority to appoint his cabinet. The executive branch carries out and enforces law. The President leads the country. He or she is the head of state, leader of the national government, and commander-in-chief of all armed forces of the Philippines. The President serves a 6-year term and cannot be re-elected. The Vice President supports the President. If the President is unable to serve, the Vice President becomes the President. He or she also serves a 6-year term. In judiciary, this branch determines whether or not there has been a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction on the part and instrumentally of the government. It is made up of a Supreme Court and lower courts. The judicial branch interprets the meaning of laws, applies laws to individual cases, and decides if law violates the Constitution. The judicial power shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such lower court as may be established by the law. So for better understanding, here is the layout of Philippines and Japan's government system. Now we will proceed to Miss Parcero.
Our next topic is all about economic freedom of the two countries, which is the Philippines and Japan. According to 2021 Index of Economic Freedom, Japan's economy is 50 times ahead in the Philippines. In this recent survey, Japan's ranked 23rd with a total points of 74.1, while Philippines ranked 73rd with a total point of 0.4 in economic freedom. Do you think why? It can be seen that the economic freedom of the two countries is very far apart to each other, and it is also because of their economic freedom when it comes to this so-called trade. Another reason is that the Philippines judicial system is weak, which has resulted in our government not being able to curb the corruption in the Philippines. Their similarities when it comes to foreign investors is also far apart. Japan focuses on their local business and provide an interest-free and collateral-free loan for small businesses, while Philippines focuses on foreign investors more than local investors. This is also one of the reasons why Philippines has a low economy. They didn't give opportunity to small businesses, which is why foreign investors and foreign companies makes money than the Philippines. Japan versus Philippines. Why do you think these two countries should be compared? Due to higher comparison in different Asian countries in response to COVID-19 pandemic, particularly between these two countries, we decided to compare Japan and Philippines in order for us to know why Japan has a better response in economic and health growth than the Philippines. This data shows that the total number of administered cases in Japan has reached a total of 197,423,151, almost 3 times. 3 times higher than the Philippines. It just shows that the Philippines has been left behind in economic development. But we choose to compare these two countries not to find out who's superior to who, but to determine what are the things that the Philippines need to improve in order to have a better response in societal issues. Thank you.